Hello, sports fans. We are ready for NFL picks for week number 15 in the league where they play. For pay! And let's get right to it. Coming off yet another very, very good week of picking games. I've been absolutely on a roll the last couple of months. Let's keep it going. Hard to believe we're in week 15 of the NFL season already. Season is just flying by. Let's enjoy it while it's still here. Playoffs start in a couple of weeks. Let's go to a Saturday game. Believe it or not, there's 2 Saturday games this week, and this is a monster game. Let's go to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where the LA Chargers are -2 against the Chiefs in Kansas City. Very rarely do you see the Chiefs underdog at home. How far have the Chargers come this year? They're already up to 7-6. They beat Washington, just demolished Washington. Chargers playing well on both sides of the ball. They are a very dangerous team. They're on a roll right now. They're starting to play really, really good football. They got off to such a bad start. You thought this was going to be another typical Charger year, but they have responded in a big way. Kansas City, they're also up to 7-6. Played a lot better and handled Oakland last week. That was more like the Chiefs that we saw in the beginning of the year. The Chiefs had a bad stretch there for a month. They needed that game in the worst way. This game, the winner's going to be in first place. The loser could be out of the playoffs when all is said and done. This is a monster game. Very hard game to pick. If I had to play the game, I'll move Chiefs in a teaser to 8. I'll get the home field. I'll get the 8 points. You have to think it's a close game either way. There's so much on the line here. I like getting those good home teams with a lot of points. Chiefs did play a little better last week. It's a very tough game. The Chargers are playing great football. I hate to go against them. If I had to play the game, Chiefs in a teaser +8. I think it's a close game either way. A lot on the line. That's a must-watch on Saturday night. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2. Let's go to Minnesota, where the Minnesota Vikings are -10.5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Minnesota down to 10-3. They fall to the 2 seed as they lost to Carolina. Minnesota was kind of due for a loss. I picked Carolina last week. Minnesota was on an absolute roll, but you can't win them all. Cincinnati, how bad are they? Ouch. Down to 5-8. Got blown out at home by the Bears. Cincinnati checked out of the season. As soon as they lost to the Steelers on the Monday night game, Cincinnati has just called it quits. They quit on that game. They just didn't even show up. Terrible job by the Bengals. Dalton can go. The coach can go. They need a whole new change in Cincinnati. If that game didn't show you that they need to clean house, nothing will. The Bengals quit on the season. I have no faith in them. I like Minnesota rolling this game. Maybe play them in a teaser as well, -4.5. But you got to like the Vikings. They're going to be angry. They're home. The Bengals are a dead carcass. Vikings are pick number 2. Pick number 3. Let's go down to Jacksonville, where the Jacksonville Jaguars are -11.5 against the Texans. Texans down to 4-9. Lost to the Niners. They've lost, 3 straight now. They lose another quarterback. The Texans are an absolute mess. I'd like to see the Texans when they have a full, healthy roster next year because they have a lot of talent, but they've just been decimated by injuries. Jacksonville up to 9-4. They are in first place. They have that big game against Tennessee at the end of the year. Jacksonville beats Seattle in a wild game. You know, all sorts of things happening at the end of the game as well. That game turned out to be a shootout. It was 3-0 for a while, then it turned out to be a shootout, but Jacksonville gets the job done. Bortles plays well again. I've been on Bortles. I've been hard on Bortles. He has played well the last couple of games. Jacksonville doing a tremendous job at 9-4. Have to like Jacksonville here. Maybe move the line down to 5.5, but that defense will shut down the Texans and their 3rd string quarterback. Gotta like Jacksonville if you're going to play the game. That's pick number 3. Pick number 4. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from here, where the Philadelphia Eagles are still -8 against the New York Giants. Giants, of course, lose to the Cowboys. It was 10-10, and the Giants fell apart late. The Giants only have a couple of wins on the year. It's been a total disaster for the Giants. Eli back at quarterback. Philadelphia, up to 11-2, beat the Rams in a very good game, but they lose Wentz for the year. What a terrible injury. Really sad that happened. Remind me of what happened to the Raiders last year when they lost Carr. That was a terrible injury. The Eagles were rolling. So Wentz out for the Foles, the quarterback. Listen, Foles came in and played well. I think Foles can play good short term. I don't know if you can win a Super Bowl with Foles, though. So that's a terrible injury for Wentz. But Foles did play well. I think you can win short term with him. Eagles have a good team around him. They'll be asking a lot to ask Foles to win the Super Bowl for you, though. But the Eagles still, right now, #1 seed. It's strange. The Eagles are the #1 seed. The Vikings are the #2 seed, and they both got had quarterback issues this year. The Vikings, down to Keenum, lost Bradford, lost Bridgewater the year before. So both teams, strange that they ended up at this #1 and 2 seeds with all the quarterback problems. So they've done a nice job. But as far as this game, listen, I still got to like Philadelphia. Move the line down to 2, take them in a teaser. I just think Philadelphia is better than the Giants. I cannot trust the Giants. Even last week when it was 10-10, I was telling everyone, they'll find a way to lose. Sure enough, they did. The Giants have a couple of wins on the year. I can't see them winning this game. Eagles -2 in a teaser. That's pick number 4. Pick number 5. Let's go down to the dog pound in Cleveland with the Baltimore Ravens, a -7 against the Cleveland Browns. Browns 0-13, blew a 14-point lead to Green Bay, ended up losing that game. Baltimore down to 7-6, lost a heartbreaker to Pittsburgh. Baltimore came storming back in this game, then blew a double-digit lead. That was a tough loss for Baltimore. Baltimore needs this game in the worst way. They're fighting for that last playoff spot. I don't love this game. This will be a light money play, but I'll probably move Baltimore down to 1 and play him in a teaser. I mean, Baltimore still, to me, is up and down. You never know what you're going to get from Baltimore. Now, the last couple of weeks, they've been putting up a lot of points. Before that, they couldn't move the ball from here to there. What's up with the defense? So who knows? But I would, if I had to play the game, Baltimore -1 in a teaser. That's pick number 5. Pick number 6. Let's go to the Big Easy in New Orleans, the Superdome. Who dat? With the New Orleans Saints, a -15.5 against the New York Jets. Jets down to 5-8. Lose McCown for the year. Lost to Denver. They're another team last week that didn't show up. Very tricky when you're picking games the end of the year. Now, I'm not going to pick week 17 because there's not going to be much going on. Very tricky picking games the end of the year because a lot of these teams are checking out. You saw that with Cincinnati. You see that with Washington. The Jets without their quarterback, what do they have left? They look lifeless against a bad Denver team. New Orleans, 9-4, lost to Atlanta on the Thursday night. We'll keep an eye on the running back. He's got a concussion. See if he plays. 15.5 is a boatload of points. My goodness. If I had to play the game, move it down to 9.5, take the Saints. There's no way I'm taking the Jets with Petty at quarterback after what I saw last week when they got shut out. Got to take the Saints. I know the money line will be high. Look at them here to blow out the Jets, or maybe move it to 9.5 in a teaser, or you just throw it out. Can't take the Jets under any circumstances. That's pick number 6. Pick number 7. Let's go down to Tampa Bay with the Atlanta Falcons, a -6 against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Bucks are down to 4-9, lost to Detroit. Very disappointing year for the Bucks. Atlanta up to 8-5, beat New Orleans. Had to have the game. That Atlanta division is really good. Saints, Carolina, Falcons, all battling for a playoff spot. You gotta like Atlanta here. Again, point spread, teaser. I'll probably look for a teaser here. Maybe move the line to pick them and take Atlanta. Atlanta has too much on the line here, and Tampa Bay has shown me very little this year. Have to like Atlanta. A lot on the line. I'll take Atlanta. That's pick number 7. Pick number 8. Let's go out to Oakland, the Black Hole, with the Dallas Cowboys, a -3 against the Oakland Raiders. Oakland down to 6-7, lost to Kansas City, looked lifeless for much of this game, tried to rally late, fell short, but Oakland, my goodness, where were they in the beginning of this game? They didn't even show up. They had no points for the longest period of time. Terrible job by the Raiders. It's been a lost cause for the Raiders all year. Dallas, they're up to 7-6. Still trying to hang on for a playoff spot. They're going to have to win out, and they're going to need help. They beat the Giants. Still no Elliott. Got to like Dallas here. Off of last week, Dallas at least showed me some life. Oakland showed me very little. I think Oakland is done, so I'm going to take Dallas here. That will be pick number 8. Pick number 9, let's go out to Seattle. This is a very interesting game with the Seattle Seahawks, a -2 against the LA Rams. Rams down to 9-4, lost a tough game to Philadelphia. Seattle down to 8-5, lost a tough game to Jacksonville. This is a monster game. The winner of this game goes into first place. Remember, Seattle beat the Rams already in Los Angeles. Remember, the Rams dropped the touchdown pass late in that game. So if Seattle wins this game, they jump all the way into first place. And if the Rams lose this game, they could be on the outside looking in when all's said and done. The Rams could go from first place to out of the playoffs by the end of the day, depending on what happens. So this is a monster game. Loser of this game could be in real trouble. That's hard to believe considering how well the Rams have played this year. But they've had a tough schedule as of late. Had a tough game in Minnesota, had the tough game last week to Philadelphia, have a tough game here in Seattle. So the Rams and Seattle, this is a monster game, very hard game to pick. To me, I'll probably just sit back and watch this game. If I had to play it, you can go a couple ways. Maybe take the Rams +8 in a teaser. If you play it straight up, hard to go against Seattle at home with that crowd, veteran leadership, Wilson. They beat Philadelphia 2 weeks ago in Seattle pretty easily. So a couple ways to play this game. It'll be a light money play for me either way. I'm going to sit back and enjoy that game though. And the last pick, because I'm going to have a bunch of throwouts this week, another monster game where the New England Patriots are -3 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh up to 11-2, came back and beat Baltimore. I'll tell you, Pittsburgh was lucky to win this game. They were great on offense. Roethlisberger threw 500 yards. Pittsburgh defense was chewed up. They gave up a million big plays. The special teams was awful. I mean, can anyone handle a kickoff back there? I mean, Pittsburgh was very lucky to win this game. What was Tomlin doing at the end of this game? Should have taken the clock all the way down and let the Steelers kick a game-winning field goal. No time left. Instead, he's throwing the ball. Actually did the Ravens a favor. Kept like 40-plus seconds on the clock. The Ravens actually got the ball back with a chance to get in the field goal range. So the Steelers were very lucky. That was bad clock management by Tomlin. And the Steelers, their defense last week was bad. Hopefully Hayden can get back on the field. They miss him. Now, Shazier, the good news is, listen, he's going to be able to walk again. He has feelings in his leg. He's going to be out the rest of this year. We know that. As far as his football career, we don't know going on. We just don't know about next year. But that's incidental. The good news is he will be able to walk again, does have feelings in his legs. He's out for the rest of this year. So that's good news as far as Shazier, as far as his overall health. Steelers will miss him on the field. He has a lot of speed. They don't have any real great replacements for him at that spot. So they will miss him on the field. Steelers, I'd like them to get Hayden back at corner because they miss him as well. And here comes New England calling. New England 10-3. They were completely flat last night in the loss to Miami. They weren't up for that game at all. Usually New England handles their business pretty well. Last night they didn't. They were flat. They were looking forward to this Pittsburgh game. Miami just ran them over. Cutler actually played well. Brady looked shaky. New England defense looked like it did the beginning of the year. That's scary for Pittsburgh because New England very rarely looks bad 2 weeks in a row. As far as this game, it's such a monster game because the AFC top seed is on the line. Winner of this game could very well host, throughout the playoffs. And that will make a big difference because Pittsburgh never wins up in New England. If they can get the Patriots in their building in the playoffs, they have a shot. If Pittsburgh loses this game and has to go to New England, I don't give them a shot at all. I am going to move the line to 9 and take the Steelers, much like the Chief game. I get the 9 points, I get the home team, and it's a very big game. You have to think it's going to be close. So if you play this game, why not take the 9 in the home field if you're going to play it? Other than that, you may just throw it out and just enjoy the game. But I'll take the Steelers +9 in what should be an absolutely fabulous must-watch game. There's a few really big games this weekend. That is a monster one. A lot of throwouts for me this weekend. Carolina at home against Green Bay. It's a big game, but I don't know what Rodgers is doing. Is he playing? Is he not playing? The Green Bay backup played well last week, but hard to gauge what's going on in that game. Carolina right now is a 3-point favorite. That would lead me to believe that Rodgers is playing, but is he going to be rusty? How's he going to play? So to me, Carolina, Green Bay, it's a big game, important game for both teams, but it's a throwout. Just not enough information right now. Detroit, Chicago's a throwout. You never know what you're getting from either one of those teams. It's a big game for Detroit, but again, throwout to me. San Francisco, Tennessee's a throwout. Niners have looked better with the new quarterback. Tennessee's always in strange, close games. Big game for Tennessee again, but again, it has to be a throwout to me. Washington, Arizona is a throwout on general principle. Indianapolis, Denver on Thursday night is just unwatchable football on Thursday night. And Buffalo, Miami, it's a big game for Buffalo. Believe it or not, Buffalo with the third-string quarterback in the snow pulls the game out against the Colts. They're in the last playoff spot. Do you believe the Bills, the way they played the last month, are in the last playoff spot? So this is a big game against Miami. Miami looked good last night, but you never can trust Cutler. He looks good some games. Looked great last night. He could throw 4 picks this weekend. And Buffalo, who's quarterbacking? Is it the first quarterback, the second quarterback, the third quarterback? You don't know. It's a throwout. That game last week in Buffalo, though, in the snow was to die for. That's football. That's why you play football outside. That was fun to watch. Anyway, there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. Thanks so much for all the support. I hope you guys are picking a lot of winners and making a lot of money. I'm on an absolute roll. Let's keep it going through the end of the season and right through the playoffs, right to the Super Bowl. You guys stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners, make a lot of money. I'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. Enjoy the holiday season. Take care.